What's going on, guys? It's me, Suki Man, back at it again with another video. Today, we're talking about The Weeknd. And if you know me, we love The Weeknd. He kind of birthed my music, uh, inspiration, I guess. He created my love for music, I should say, back when I was in, elementary. But anyways, um, yeah, this movie was not all that enjoyable to me. I was heavily disappointed being a fan of The Weeknd, but also not too disappointed because I was kind of not expecting anything too crazy. But regardless, I watched it and it was it was all right. It really wasn't. There wasn't much to take away from it, and I definitely am not going to watch it again. Um, But yeah, let's get started here. So he starts off in the movie pretty much just to himself, getting ready to perform at a concert. It cuts to that scene where he's opening and he's playing Wake Me Up. Such a great song. I love that song. Justice, I believe, produced that song. But yeah, and from there we get to see the typical celebrity lifestyle that, one may know. Um, Being surrounded by girls, by drugs, all sorts of different things, and yeah, really, it just kind of showing us a side of, this isn't really fulfilling to him, but oh well. We cut to this next scene where the doctor's telling him if he doesn't rest, his voice will give out, essentially, and turns out his manager pushed him to sing, and the worst thing that could have happened. His voice was shot, and he ended up not being able to perform his concert. But from there, we get to see the character of Jenna Ortega. I am not gonna lie, I forgot her name in the movie. She's like a very broken girl too, that supposedly feels very lonely, and she comes from a very tough living situation. And honestly, I would care, but there's just, they address it one time, and that's all it really feels like, and you just kind of forget about that. She's like this person that wants fulfillment from something, but anyways, um, so we cut to this part where they're just kind of sneaking off, and Abel's like freaking out because he lost his voice, and they're just hanging out, and he wants to hang out with a person that makes him feel whole, because he's a supposed broken man that has had very many issues with relationships. And I can understand that. I myself have not been, you know like very suitable for relationships at times, but regardless, it I guess if you can see it from that way, you can sort of relate to it. But at the end of the day, it's hard to relate because us as humans deal with these things, but we don't have our way out yet. Like Abel has dealt with things in the past, I'm sure, like all humans do, and now he's a celebrity. He has millions of dollars. He has the opportunity to get whatever he wants, pretty much. So it it kind of you kind of struggle to see the relatability just in that sense, because you can see it from the psychological standpoint of, I'm struggling deep down with relationships and finding what, like, someone to keep, and but you just kind of get overshadowed by the fact that he's rich and famous and whatever. But it's really not too hindering for me. I've just heard it from other people. But regardless, we get to this part where they have a moment together, and they sleep together in a hotel. And after that magical night that we supposedly want to see them stay together, he doesn't want to stay. And like right before the scene fades, he actually mentions, like, or well, he doesn't really, he just kind of says it to her. He's like, "You better never leave me," or something like that. And you can sense that he needs like someone, but he's not really ready for it. He's just kind of like, in a spot where he can hurt people very easily. And so, in true fashion, Jenna Ortega is very hurt by that. He wants her to stay, and or she wants him to stay, but he doesn't want to. He's got to go for new shows and go perform other places. But it kind of made me forget about the fact that his voice is literally lost. Like he's saying he's on tour and he has to go, but like you can't really do that without your voice working. But regardless, it's okay. Um, After that, Jenna Ortega crashes out. She does not like that. She grabs a bottle, smack on the head, he's out. And from there, we get to see what turns into like a psychological horror, like a yeah, kind of just like a horror film at this point. It's like a pretty nice sequence, I should say. It's just him alone in his mind. There's nobody there, and it's just empty. It's all empty, and he ends up going back to the hotel, or well, I can't really remember the structure of how this went down, but regardless, he goes down an elevator to the basement of like a floor, and he sees a woman that's just sitting by herself. And to me, what I took from it was that it was someone that was hurt by him. I was kind of struggling to see what was going on, but then after the whole jump scare bit, you get to see him staring at himself as a little kid, and I like this part. I thought it was nice. Because it kind of always reflects in any human, the childish version of self should always stand out, because the childish versions of us are always the best versions of us. We're more, we're more empathetic, we're more caring. Like, it's just our true nature. And after that, it just cuts to him waking up, I believe it was. And from there, it just turned into like what I say is a mess. Jenna Ortega wakes him up, and she's trying to tell him about like the background of how he writes his songs and like what they're about and all this. And at this point in the movie, I was like, man, like I don't really care. Like yeah, I love Abel and I love The Weeknd, and I promise you I do. I love him so much, but it's not gonna excuse the fact that I still see flaws in like his movie, and with the whole thing of making a movie of himself, and people like that have dreams, and you can kind of see it shine through that it just really, like, he really wanted to make a movie of himself. And the Idol was not the best. I didn't think it was the best, but yeah, from there I just kind of stopped caring. It wasn't really that interesting to me. It was just Jenna Ortega dancing to his song, like breaking it down, like explaining, oh, this is what really makes this song a hit, and like there's just so much structural like analysis to it. And then she just dances to it and sings it or whatever it is. And I forgot to mention, Abel is tied up actually, and he just kind of, it's like I was joking about this with my girlfriend, and I was like, oh my god, he's getting tortured by his own music. That's so funny. But it is kind of like why, like what is the whole thing I'm supposed to take out of this? And at the end of the movie, I was kind of starting to understand the themes of like my guess was like the whole sleep paralysis thing, like dealing with that, like someone you see in your head, like a figure, and like it's kind of lurking always, and also like just self-reflection as well, which is good, of course, but it's almost like the movie was trying to tell us like he's reflecting, but he's not there yet, like he's not ready yet, I'm guessing. Like he's not ready to become better. But anyways, the man, I just struggle to enjoy this movie, and I struggle to justify why it's like even good, or why, I don't know, man. I haven't been able to keep my eye contact with this camera, just because I've been so like disappointed. And yeah, like by the end of the video, or by the end of the movie, I was just like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like his manager came in during that scene where Jenna Ortega was tying him up and like trying to find out where he was at, and yeah, they get in a fight and she kills him, I guess, and I don't really know why. Like I get that you want to talk to him and everything, but it felt too forced in my opinion to like kill him. Like really, like we had to kill him, but I don't know. At the end of this day, at the end of the day, it could have been like very. To me, this could have never happened. It was kind of like something he pictured in his head or dreaming or whatever. I don't know, but it was just ridiculous. You know, it was just a lot going on, and then they end up like burning the hotel that they're staying at after everything because well, I can't cut to that part, but Jen Ortega, I guess, is like about to kill the Weeknd or end the Weeknd, game end, whatever. I don't know what YouTube's guidelines are, but you know, she's about to finish him off, I guess, because you know she killed his manager, and then she's like, "Oh, well, you gotta go too," because you know that's just how it is. And he starts singing a song. I believe it was from one of the. I think it was the last song in his album. And here's something that I noticed as well. When they were talking in their hotel, like when they were in good terms, the same song he was singing at the end of the movie was playing, and I was like, oh, that's like a the meaning behind this song is very, you know, like fixed, and you know, like explaining everything about himself, and it's just like an odd time to play the song, and then I just find it funny that he sings the same song again. And I'm just like, is this like trying to be foreshadowing or what's going on here? But um, yeah. After that, Jenna Ortega, I think she lets him go, and yeah, I'm struggling to remember. I just really had to make a video on this movie because I was actually going to earlier, but haven't really had the time. But yeah, that's my review on Hurry Up Tomorrow. I give it like a 3 out of 10 Suki Mans, or Suki points, if you want to call it that. But yeah, I really struggle to enjoy it, and yeah, next video is gonna be Lilo and Stitch. Just wait for that one.